South Africans. Let's take ourselves back down memory lane. The day Lieutenant Mkhwanazi busted open a can of worms in the South African political system. Some people may have forgotten what he said, what he pointed out, who he called out, and how far things have gone since then. Are the testimonies at the Madlanga Commission aligning with his allegations? We will see as we compare what he said with the testimonies from Mchunu, Sibia, Malala, Mojosi, Julius Mkhwanazi, and others. It will be a long day, but definitely an interesting one. Take a seat as we do a deep analysis of what has happened so far since July 25th, a day many people suggested should be declared a holiday and titled Mkhwanazi Day. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates.
I've decided to take this fight head on. So the least that can ever happen to me is to someone to come and attack me, or somebody to issue an instruction that Mkhwanazi must be fired from the police, or suspended, or arrested for that matter. What I know, what I like about KwaZulu-Natal, especially in South Africa at large, that we've got very dedicated people out there, from the law enforcement as well as private sector, especially the security companies, that we are running the streets with them on a daily basis, who understand that there's a rot in this organization, who understand these problems that you're talking about, and they're not going to sit back and allow this thing to continue. So I'm inviting all of them. I'm inviting the citizens to stand up and protect these men and women who are standing for the truth in this organization. They must protect them. Whether I'm there or not there, fight must go on. We must protect this country against crime. It's all what we can do. So whatever happens to me happens. I'll take it, whatever happens, happens. If it's prison, it will be prison. It's already on communication planned by Mojosi, the DNC, and the Chief of Staff, that they must deal with my matters. Whatever matters comes, they will come. But what we must not surrender is this country and our children to be controlled by drug syndicates. And that's what is currently happening. Yes, sir. Who's next?
Next one. This was the last one. Clive.
Lieutenant Mkhwanazi first showcased his bravery and fearlessness before exposing all the corrupt police bigwigs and politicians in South Africa when he said he is ready to die for the country. Now let's proceed on how he exposed all corrupt police bigwigs, their cohort and associated politicians, and see how controversy erupts between his statements and various testimonies at the Madlanga Commission and Ad Hoc Committee.
I'm a police officer who understood the task at hand. When I joined the service, it was my resolve to make sure that I deal with criminals head on. Hence, I had chosen a career within the combating side of policing. That's what led me to work in the units that I worked for over time. Yes, I've been a provincial commissioner, and I'm still a provincial commissioner, coordinating different types of policing operations in this province. And I've been involved with a lot of operations in the country in the past. But I understand that at this present moment, the war that we are facing is so serious that it deals with high-level senior officers within the criminal justice system. Therefore, it is important for us to go into a combat mode. It is important for me to make sure that I take on the enemy directly. So when you see me and you see this management and you understand that we have hard-working men and women, not only in KZN, but across the board in the country, who doesn't like crime, who doesn't like these criminals. I, fortunately, am a citizen in this country. My families are spread across different provinces. So it is my duty and the fellow police officers to protect them. So I'm not going to surrender their freedom. I'm not going to surrender their safety to anyone. So I will die for this badge. I will die for them. So I will fight this fight until the end. Wherever the end is, we will fight. We're not going to stop. We've got family members, brothers and sisters, we've got children that are exposed to drugs. This drug cartel, which includes a group in Gauteng that's operating. On the 14th of May this year, 2025, the task team arrested Vusi Muzi, who is also known as Cat Matlala, for an attempted murder ×3. I must highlight that this Mr. Vusi Muzi Cat Matlala is an individual who was awarded a police contract of over 360 million rand in 2024. An analysis was conducted on electronic communication of this arrested person. This analysis reveals communication between the arrested Vusi Muzi at Cat Matlala, Mr. Brown Mojosi, an associate of the Minister of Police, as well as the Minister of Police, Mchunu. On the 1st of January, the letter is issued on the 31st. On the 1st of January, 2025, Mr. Brown Mojosi sends a WhatsApp to Vusi Muzi Cat Matlala, and it reads as follows, I quote, "I have arranged a meeting for Sibiya and the minister. They must have a solution." And it follows another message. "The task team that came to your house and harassed you have been dissolved. They got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they are bringing all docket to Sibiya." This letter is issued on the 31st of December 2024. This communication is on the very next day, the 1st of January 2025, where it says the dockets have been called and have been sent to Sibiya. Yes, we know the dockets only were sent to Sibiya in March this year. Further analysis of the chats indicates that Vusi Muzi Cat Matlala is financially supporting the Minister of Police and Mr. Brown Mohosi's political endeavors. This is supported by the evidence of conversation and the proof of payments of guests for January 8 traveling cost and the Ghana dinner in Cape Town, which was done in 2025. The proof of payment, we have it. As I said, we're going to share with you where Mr. Matlala is sending this proof of payment to Mr. Brown Mojosi.
Now, from what Lieutenant Mkhwanazi said, let's see how Cat Matlala, Sibiya, Becky Selly, and Brown Mojosi complicated themselves with lies when asked about this allegation during the Ad Hoc Committee and Madlanga Commission hearings.
The minister, because he's saying that the minister gave him the directive to do the investigations and everything. He said, I must keep on entertaining him. So, and then I told him that, but listen, this guy, he's asking a lot of money now. He wants me to pay him for this January 8th thing, whatever. And he said to me, please just do it for us, but don't give him more than 200,000. And then if he asks more than that, then you can stop giving him money. But he said, I must continue, keep on entertaining him, tell him what he wants to hear. And he also told me that he will come, because this guy, Bongani, he was also present. So this guy Bongani was also present there. So Bongani told him that, oh, actually, Ndosi, this guy in Pretoria there, he's got a nice penthouse. Because you like to visit Pretoria a lot, when you're that side, he can offer you accommodation. And I said, it's fine, I don't have a problem. When you're at this side, I can offer you accommodation. And then...
Sorry, Chair. Chair? The point on January 8, don't give him more than 200,000. If he asks for more than 200,000, don't pay. Did you ever pay for that January 8?
Yes, I did.
How much?
I'll say between 150 and 200. I'm not quite sure about it.
Did you pay the money to the account given by Mkhwanazi?
Yes, there's also proof of payment for that.
Okay.
4 million. Was it before he came to stay at your apartment? Was it at your apartment or in your apartment?
Yes, at my apartment.
And you say that at the time the late Mkhwanazi was present?
Yes.
And what was your reaction to that? That someone is demanding, someone of that stature is demanding R1 million from you?
Yeah. He actually spoke to Bongani. He said, you see, I helped your friend and now I'm here at his apartment and he's not even doing anything to show appreciation. And then I said, but what do you mean? Because I even offered you a place to stay. He said, no, but this won't pay my bills. So you know that I've helped you, but in return you're not doing anything. And then that's when I said, okay, how much do you want me to give you? I said, and then he said to me that if you can give me 1 million, he will appreciate that.
Now, why didn't you mention that in your statement?
Mention what?
In your statement, you didn't mention that he demanded from you 1 million, and that you made only part payment to him of 300 and then 200.
There's actually a lot of things that I did not mention. Like I said to you, I forgot a lot of things. The place that I'm in, I cannot remember all these things. Some of them, like I said yesterday, that I just remembered them when I'm lying in bed, that, oh, actually this happened. So I forgot a lot of things. I'm being locked in a cell for 23 hours a day, so I have no contact. I don't have radio, I don't have newspaper, I don't have TV. I'm blocked from the outside world, so my brain is not functioning well. Yeah. So I forgot a lot of things. So for that, please forgive me.
But you would agree that this is a very...
Now let's see how Beki Seli lied and complicated Matlala's allegations against him at the ad hoc committee. Many believed he obviously lied.
Because of my involvement as the MEC for Transport and Police, when there are problems of taxi industry, then I will meet these people. So I knew Sputla through that, the father of Bongani. So Bongani then brings Matlala to me. So I think a week or 2 weeks I've read earlier to say there is this Tembisa person who has received this 360, is it 360 or 260 amount of contract from the South African police. They came and I met them in Beverly Hills in Durban. So I met there. I think I delayed two days because Bongani, who's known as Mabonga, did not tell me that he's bringing somebody else. So as I came there, because there was a photo of Kate, I said to him, "You look like Kate." He said, "I'm one." I said, "Nkosiam, what's the story with you and me and all that?" So he said, "No, he has asked Mabonga to come to me because there are 2 issues he wants to raise with me."
Where were you meeting?
Beverly Hills Hotel in Durban.
The Beverly Hills Hotel?
Yes, sir. Do you know Beverly Hills?
It's a fancy hotel.
Yeah, it's a very high-end hotel. No doubt about it. It's a high-end hotel, Beverly Hills. But we met at the dining hall there, and then he raised 2 issues. He said Mabonga must bring him to me because he realizes that he's being abused or he's being used for the political games that he do not understand. Firstly, he said he has met Minister Mchunu, him and Brown Mojosi, the 3 of them. And they spoke about him because he's got money through the tender, him to fund his project of becoming either a president or deputy president. He didn't know. Myself, I didn't know which project was it. So that's that. But
so just to be clear, so he's telling you that he met with Mojosi and with Minister
The minister,
Mchunu,
yes.
and it was about the funding
Of the
for-
project of
the
becoming
project.
a president or deputy president. Okay. This is Kat telling me why he wanted to meet me. But what puzzled him there, for him to want to meet me, he was told by the minister that we'll work together so long we don't come close to Cele and Zuma. I don't know why it mixes me with Zuma. But it looks like that's what he said, that don't come close to Cele and Zuma, so we'll work well with. So that's why he says he realized that there is a game, some political games, hence wanted to see me.
Did he give any details of when they met? He met with Mojosi and with Minister Mchunu.
No, and I did not want details myself. But he didn't. The second one was
Shortly after Biki Cele came to the ad hoc committee to clarify the error following Matlala's testimonies, Brown Mojosi also came out at the Madlanga Commission and publicly accused Cele of telling a big lie. Let's hear his own version of the story.
This company is being awarded a 360 million tender. And the source says, I can tell you, Minister Biki Cele is having interest in this particular tender. Now, the question is, what interest? Now, earlier Commissioner was saying, my question is based on at the moment when you receive information. Now, I do not know if I should continue to explain what then happened, or I should stick to when I receive the information, Commissioner.
All I want is, do you have a basis for saying that there was this link? That's all.
Yes, there are bases. There are bases, Commissioner.
Do you care sharing those bases with us?
Correctly so, Commissioner. The tender was awarded during the tenure of Minister Biki Cele. And I'm going to take this opportunity, Commissioner, to just to reference what former Minister Biki Cele said in Parliament about this Vusi Musi Ket Matlala. Apart from in the statement, I did mention how much Vusi Ket Matlala told me about his financial transactions with Minister Biki Cele. Now, there is something, I believe the Commission will have access to that. The Commission should perhaps direct its attention to the crime intelligence in their archives. There is something called Boko Haram. It was a presentation, intelligence presentation, which was presented to the former Minister Biki Cele. I'm going to give a bit description about that presentation. Commissioners, it was 6 pages. The Boko Haram, it talks to a man who was known as John Wick. This John Wick appears on the presentation of the intelligence presentation which was presented to Minister Biki Cele. It has a picture of John Wick, his ID number, it has his previous convictions, pending cases, and everything, all the matters that were withdrawn against him. It was in 2018 October, Commissioner. Commissioner, John Wick is Vusi Musi Ket Matlala. Even the picture is showing that. Now, former Minister Biki Cele says now, he only met him in December 2024. Now, one will ask again, he even said he didn't know him, he invited him to his house, and it was a freebie, he had to take it. And I should also share, it's within those messages between me and Ket Matlala. The story that Minister Biki Cele was in Ket's house, it is true. We actually had to arrest Minister Cele at that time. He was affected by this POCA Act, the Proceeds of Crime Act. There was an arrangement. I believe when you get to those messages, one will be able to allude to the Commission exactly what happened. It was during the ANC Lekgotla, when General Cele was in.
Matlala also implicated General Sibia during his testimonies. Let's hear what he said and how controversy erupted when Sibia came out to clear his name. This is more than a drama.
Even to have breakfast with you. Not many people who don't.
No, I can't say really, Chair. I don't have any reason to say, no, I can't see you. You're talking to a person over the phone all the time, you're talking to the person over the phone, and then he tells you and says, will you be there? And I say, yes. I say, I'll come and greet you. I say, it's okay. To me, I didn't see anything wrong.
But he must have dropped a name or two to persuade you to meet him for breakfast.
No, he didn't drop names other than telling me that, Chief, be careful here and there. And then he will give me information. And the information that he gave me, you find that is the information that I know and that I see is happening around me.
So did he give you that information there over breakfast?
No, all the time when we speak. Some people you want to avoid. But some people you cannot avoid, because if someone gives you something that you know you may need, you listen to him as and when he calls.
So how many calls did he make to you, more or less? You said you mentioned you spoke to him all the time.
Yeah, at that time it wasn't that many times, but he's the kind of a person that I never really deliberately, so I never wanted to block him. I deal with information. And then there's no way I will block him. I will listen to him every time he calls. Because you block the person, the next thing this was the person who was going to save you for one or other reasons. I need that information.
So you must have found him to be at least very interesting and someone who's worth listening to, because the information that he was giving you strikes you as stuff that you knew or knew of. And so you were curious, how does this guy know all these things?
You see, my job, Chair and honorable members, I deal with information, I work with information, I work with crime, I deal with crime. I have to get information from all over the country, and whatever information that I get to me helps me.
So again, so how many times more or less did he phone you? How many times more or less did he meet you? Was the Cape Town breakfast meeting on January 8th or wherever it was, on the eve of January 8th, was that the only time you actually...
He met me only once here in Cape Town. And even when he left, he forgot to pay. And then...
So he peddles information and he must pay for it?
No, he forgot to pay. And then he said to me, hey, I forgot to pay there. Can you pay us? I didn't agree to pay because, I didn't know that I was going to have a guest that I must pay breakfast for.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay. He then said he had to come and pay.
So he's some guy. and so during this meeting at breakfast, and you still haven't said how many calls more or less he made to you.
No, when he was here, Chair, it was that one call when he came here, and then from that was it. To greet, and that was it. It's not like we are friends. We are not close to each other.
Does he phone you, or do you phone him, and do you have his number on your phone?
I had his number on my phone. I do have his number on my phone, but many a times he's the one who calls. I don't call.
Now let's end this episode with the second allegation made by Lieutenant Mkhwanazi. And in our next episode, we will deeply analyze that together. Stay tuned, and let's have your opinions so far on all the testimonies in the comment section.
On the 2nd of January 2025, at about 10:05 in the morning, Vusimuzi Ket Matlala receives a copy of the letter of the disbandment of the political killing stars team from Mr. Mkhwanazi, who is an associate with the Minister of Police. I pause to remind you that this is the very same Mkhwanazi that the Minister of Police had denied in Parliament and later confirmed to be his comrade but not involved with police matters. But he's sending this communication. That's what we have discovered through the investigation. On the 14th of January 2025, Mr. Brown communicates with Mr. Mkhwanazi Matlala as follows. I quote, "Sure, don't forget to work on your invoices." On the 15th January, Mr. Mkhwanazi Matlala responds with a screenshot of an invoice that he has submitted to the South African Police Service, which I guess was due for payment on his contract. On the 26th of January 2025, Mr. Mkhwanazi sent a message to the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, which reads as follows, I quote, "The guy of the funding in bracket 20 is also in Joburg from Tuesday. He is the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS." Close quote. Open quote, again another message. "I am also meeting with the DNC and the COS today." Now, in the abbreviation, the DNC in the South African Police Service is referred to as the Deputy National Commissioner, and the COS will be, in this regard, the Chief of Staff. He says, "I'm also meeting with the DNC and Chief of Staff today in Durban for finalization of Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi's matter." Close quote. Another message reads, "DNC is waiting for the Chief of Staff here. This is very significant." Close quote. This is extracted from the communication of the arrested person. So we ask ourselves a question. Is there a theory of conspiracy targeting senior officers involving the Minister of Police in this country? On the 31st of December, we have seen Mr. Mkhwanazi sending the following message to the Minister of Police, which reads, "Minister, I'm going to get the case number and the judgment for you. Now we got something proven by the court. It is a matter now which either Sibia or the minister can charge Khumalo and apply Rule 9 of the disciplinary regulations of the South African Police Service. It took the Constitutional Court to release a man who was sentenced to life imprisonment through a forced Section 204 confession. Imagine, Comrade Senzo, after 30 years of democracy, having this kind of policing. The good thing now is that these are not allegations, but a court judgment." This is extracted from a conversation that Mr. Mkhwanazi is sending to the Minister of Police. On the 13th of May this year, the contract of Mkhwanazi Matlala was cancelled by the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service. On the 14th of May this year, Mkhwanazi Matlala sent a message to Mkhwanazi, which reads, I quote, "Morning. Just to let you know that my contract was cancelled yesterday, and I see you've been ignoring me and promising me things that never happened. Luckily, took screenshots of every conversation just in case something like this might happen. I'm taking all this to media and some to court on Friday when I do the interdict." Close quote. On the 30th of May 2025, the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, which is referred to as IDEC, requests the exhibits from the cell phone of Mkhwanazi Matlala from the political killing stars team, and they download the content of the cell phone. IDEC is a unit that was established to deal with corruptions in the country. We don't know what is it that we're investigating for them to come and ask for these cell phone downloads. On the 25th of May, on the 30th of May, I beg your pardon. On the 25th of June this year, the project coordinator of the political killings task team, is arrested by IDEC. A dramatic arrest. A dramatic arrest. On the 26th of June 2025, the accused, Katiso KT Molefe, who was arrested by the very same task team, was granted bail. Guess that one went under the radar. The work of the organized crime in Gauteng supported